Good evening, great peoples and loyal citizens of Phat Girl Land. Y'all thought I was gonna say Zamunda, didn't you? Now, loyal citizens of Phat Girl Land, PGC Palace. We want to welcome y'all to another dope episode of the Phat Girl Chronicles, where we get all up in your business and discuss the topics that matter to us most each and every Tuesday, which we lovingly call Fat Tuesday, right here from 8 to 10 p.m. Okay. And we are streaming live on leorochelle.com. You can follow us, all of those good things over there. Or you can check us out on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. We are live on Instagram tonight. We want to say hey to all of y'all that are tuning in, everybody that has followed us this month, because it's been an amazing month of conversations, vulnerability, and, a lot of us getting a little free with all of this conversation about grief. We learning something, releasing something, and we gaining a lot of information. So we getting ready to get this thing cracking, and I know the team is happy that it is the very last show of Mental Health Awareness Month, and we are talking about grief. But tonight, we are talking about the grief of losing a loved one and how to navigate those things. Tonight, we got a special guest, and she will be hopping on here shortly. None other than Miss Kendrah Parker. She is also a mental health counselor, so she will be hopping on here with us shortly. And then we also have another guest by the name of Mr. E.J. Jenkins. He is an amazing speaker. He does a lot of speaking for the steel workers and a bunch of things like that. But I'll let him tell you all his qualifications and all of that good stuff, and as well as Kendrah. But before we get too far into things, let me introduce y'all to the squad that's on here with me tonight. None other than right here next to me. We got none other than Pop. Pop, you got to make sure you unmute your mic, baby. He up here doing all of that. I'm about to say doing all of that, and they still ain't saying hey.
Ain't nobody heard shit I said. They be like, that old dumb motherfucker don't even know how to work his computer. his computer.
That's so funny.
He grieving technology.
And then right next to Pop, we got none other than Mr. Moses, Haitian boy Moses himself.
How y'all doing?
What up, Moses?
I'm chilling, maintaining. How y'all doing?
I dig. And then down here at the bottom, I'm good. I hope y'all good too. And then down here at the bottom, we got none other than your grandma's favorite grandson, Mr. Pablo.
Yeah.
Oh,
what's understood don't need to be said.
He be coming on. He's such a G. And then last but not least, we got none other than Coach Coco up in this thing with us tonight. Hey, girl.
Hi.
Salute. You got to turn that salute in a little bit. You had
Bruh.
palm. You got to turn it in a little bit.
Yeah, we're not in England.
Right. That look like you stressed.
She's doing an old black man hairline. Back here. Right
here to the temple. Right here.
My hairline start right here.
Don't curl them fingers. Fingers.
They're
I'm just gonna do one of these.
Don't know the vice lords.
That works.
Relax.
That works too. Sorry. The ROTC in me came out when you had that salute showing all that palm. But tonight, y'all, we finna get into this thing. Woo! How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling about going into this last discussion of grief? Talk to me. How y'all feeling?
We good. She just letting her know that's for mental health when she did like that. She said she ain't in the U.S. She ain't in the U.S. Army. She in the Army of the Lord. That's for the Army of the Lord.
Army of the Lord.
Yeah.
It's Army of the Lord. Not the who. So how y'all feeling? We done made it through 3 weeks.
This is the last one, man.
This is the last one.
Technically 4.
Have y'all?
Could we set it off before? Technically 4. Could we set it off before the month started?
We actually did. We set it off before the month started, but that was just a conversation about mental health awareness, not necessarily grief.
That's enough.
You said it's enough.
Yeah, it really was.
These niggas is drained. They is mentally.
They drained because everybody been on their asses this whole month.
Yeah, everybody been working
This
through some
whole
shit.
month, people been on their asses. So that's why they drained and ready for this month to be over. They like, Lord, I can't talk about my feelings no more. I can't talk about my heart, my chest, none of that no more.
What is that? Because what is that? Are you playing the violin? What's happening? Are you singing?
What is going on here?
Oh, Negro.
He doing the background music again. That's what he doing. Y'all told me to keep it going. Now that I recognize
this
it.
background music.
Listen, now that I
The days of
recognize
our
what it
lives
is,
music.
that sounded like the way
I
we
thought the
were.
new one was coming out.
That sounded like the way we were, but you know. But yeah, we're gonna get this thing rolling. We're gonna have this really amazing conversation
Unknown
tonight.
Journey, what it do?
What up, Unknown Journey? Hey, Lisa, what up, baby?
Hey.
If you in the Indianapolis area, make sure y'all go check out them sisters over there at New Vibe CBD Dispensary downtown Indianapolis. Make sure y'all go check her out. Hey, girl, I got to come see y'all. I got to come see y'all soon. Probably tomorrow. But
some edibles? How the edibles?
they have all the things that you need in there.
Bro, you ain't see it when she was in the store?
Yeah.
That don't look like Walmart.
They have an amazing shop here in Indy, so make sure y'all go check them out. Make sure y'all like, share, and follow and all of that good stuff on Instagram and Facebook. New Vibe, NUVIBE. CBD Dispensary right here in the heart of Indy. Make sure y'all go check them out. And hey, Auntie
the code
Michelle.
word Pablo to take you to the back, get you that cocaine.
Whoa,
boy, they ain't doing that.
Wait a minute.
They is not doing that here. Don't be lying.
This boy got
right. Don't be lying. Had nobody thinking my girls over there doing extra.
First, like the feds.
Let people know you a crackhead without letting them know you a crackhead.
Don't nobody be believing Pablo.
Get you some.
He high.
First thing first, his name is Pablo.
First thing first, that ain't his real name.
Your mama called you George.
Right.
You don't even call me George no more. That's crazy.
Right. 333 East Ohio Street. Go check them out downtown.
See?
That's
Make
the
sure
way.
you go check
These
them out.
ain't say it ain't true. That's all I'm saying.
So,
she ain't say it ain't true.
It really did say it ain't true. So like now I'm about to mention Pablo.
We talked about in our first couple of shows, we discussed what grief was. And if you weren't here for the first couple of shows that we dived into this conversation, we talked about all the things that grief consists of. Let me give you the definition of grief one last time. Probably not one last time, but you know what I'm saying. The definition of grief is an emotional reaction to loss. Most commonly, grief is connected to death and dying, but it is also related to any loss that we experience in life. Work, money, relationships, play, hobbies, safety, physical capacity, or anything else we can lose. The body and the mind react in a variety of ways to loss, and generally, the more important or significant the loss, the more complications there could be. Okay, and then I'm gonna give y'all a few different types of grief for those who also missed this part. The different types of grief: absent grief, anticipatory grief, complicated grief, cumulative grief, delayed grief, disenfranchised grief, normal grief, breakup grief, and traumatic grief. So there are quite a few different ways that grief can show up. So we're trying to help you guys today to understand all the ways that grief can show up. And tonight we're going to talk about that traumatic grief, that delayed grief, and all of those good things. And then let's see what this one is. And then, yeah, there are 7 stages of grief. And in those 7 stages, we trying to figure out how long does it last, because I'm tired of grieving. Grief is a personal and unique experience, okay? There is no designated time frame for these stages or processes. Grief experts note that healing happens gradually. It can't be forced or hurried, and there is no quote unquote normal timetable for grieving. Some people start to feel better in weeks or months. For others, the grieving process is measured in years. So, with that being said, don't ever let nobody tell you that you should be done grieving. That happened years ago. You should be over it by now.
Forever.
For real. Like, nobody can tell you how long your grief process is, how long your grief should take, what that looks like. Because as the picture said, grief is a process and it can take a long fucking time depending on the circumstances of your life at that time, what else is happening around you while you're grieving, and if you have
Do
the
you
proper
allow yourself
support
to grieve?
system. Yep, the proper
Yeah.
support system, and if you even allow yourself to grieve, because sometimes people have what the other picture said, delayed grief. You might not be able to grieve in the moment that those things happen, because a lot of times for a lot of us what happens is that um we are too busy focused on all of the other things that we have to do in order to make sure, especially in this case that we're talking about tonight, the loss of a loved one. We have to do all the things to make sure that everything is prepared, all of the things are taken care of, whether that means funeral arrangements, clearing out their home, getting rid of their things, packing up their things, dividing it to who gets what, all that. Insurance claims. It takes a lot to be able to go through that process of burying a loved one. And even if it's not the onus isn't on you to bury a loved one, as far as the arrangements and things like that, it still takes a quite a bit of a process for people to even get to grieving, because some people have layered grief where there are several things happening at one time, or several things that have taken place within a short time frame. So again, like that picture says, sometimes grief might last a little while. Okay. And just because you might be feeling good, you might be happy today, that don't mean, that don't mean you can't be happy for a while. And just because you grieving don't mean you won't be happy tomorrow. But it's as Pablo always says on Thursday Night Live, it's ebbs and flows, people. Ebbs and flows. Okay?
And then it depends on your place in your family structure too. Like, you might not be able to grieve in that moment because you taking on the weight of everybody else and doing everything for everybody else and trying to be the strong person, and you know what I'm saying. And then sometimes, like we learned last week, you got to be able to take time to understand your grief and be able to sit in it. Yeah, I think that's probably the most important thing I learned last week, is that you got to be able to just sit in it and address it and figure out what it is you're grieving, what it is you're mad about, what it is what are your thoughts, and be able to process those things and be able to deal with it and answer those questions to get to the end result.
Absolutely.
So,
sometimes people just funky in the room. You can't grieve, but they just stink.
That's true too.
I mean, but you can always pretend.
Funky
in what way? Like attitude, body.
Somebody else think you can't grieve because you don't know whether you're grieving or you just crying because they smell like onions.
Exactly.
Or their breath smell like 1,000 asses.
That's all I'm saying.
Trying to figure out what is going on. Who breath is this?
Be my
you got to assess the situation before you start grieving.
Is this smelling like wolf pussy while I'm trying to grieve?
Smelling like what?
Yep. Wolf. So I'm sorry. Wolf poo poo. Wolf poo poo.
I mean, we gotta get them out the room so we can grieve.
You gotta go.
That's it.
I can't even.
Anyway, cause what? I don't even know how we got that far left, but
you ate some of the onions before the repast, didn't you?
Who's sucking on onions?
So,
those are for the pork chops. It was not for you.
As we get into
like
talking about grief a little further, let's see here. Wrong one. My bad. Let's see here.
That's what it be sometimes.
I'm gonna use that one.
Let's see. Here we go. What is delayed grief? Delayed grief occurs when people postpone feelings of grief and loss. They may tell themselves that other people's needs are more important than theirs and focus on taking care of them, but this is a way of trying to avoid their own painful feelings. Sudden loss may also create feelings of shock and numbness and a conscious or unconscious inability to cope with grief immediately. Delayed grief can occur weeks, months, or even years after loss. So again, it is delaying your own feelings, your own thoughts, all those things, because you are lacking the ability to tap in. And as it said, it can be conscious or subconscious as to how the grief may take place. So it could be that you got a lot of shit on your plate. You handling a lot. You don't want to let a lot of shit slide. You don't want to lose control. And a lot of times we don't grieve simply because of control. A lot of us don't recognize we have control issues, so we try to maintain all of these different things and control everything within our space. Oh, you know, because you got
we get, because we both got it, honestly.
Being able to maintain control of all the things that's going on around you and also going on in your head, your heart, your mind, your body, and your spirit. So it takes a lot to be able to process grief. And again, if your environment isn't conducive to you being able to process grief or grieve in a way that allows you to be free, then are we really grieving? And do we have we then have to find ways in order for us to grieve, because the people around us aren't allowing that space. So I know that was a lie. I know that was a lie.
What's
absolutely?
Because once it slows down, and then everything slows down, and that grief hits you unexpectedly, and you're not expecting it, it can be heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me.
Yeah.
Are you about to ask a question, or you saying hallelujah? Okay, go ahead.
Somebody got a little birthday, so they out in these streets though. That's crazy.
Right.
Right. They ain't no office, no nothing. They outside, window roll down, everything. That's crazy.
Turn up. Birthday with the sunroof.
She ain't even here,
y'all. No attention.
She got Frankie Beverly playing right now. She ain't worried about nothing we talking about.
Yeah, she just like, I'm just gonna tune in.
She just on screen. She don't hear nothing we saying. Don't hear nothing we talking about.
It's my birthday.
Did she just look
birthday. I just gotta show up. It's my birthday, bitches.
Anywho.
Now, what does a safe space to grieve look like? Because sometimes when people grieve, they cannot be the safe person, if that makes sense what I'm saying.
Nope.
They're not grieving in a safe way. So what does a safe space to grieve look like?
I think it looks different for everybody sometimes, and for different people, you know. Sometimes you have a friend that you feel comfortable with. Sometimes the bathroom might be a safe place. Kitchen.
Good old bathroom.
A lot of times when it comes to having a safe space, like one thing that you just said is like, you might not be the safe space, or you aren't grieving in a safe way. That really just means that survival mode has kicked in. Like they are trying their best to survive. And so as you will see is that a lot of times when people go through grief or are grieving, a lot of people go into survival mode. That means that they are like taking it to the 1,000th power of being able to survive. They use everything they got to be able to survive. And some people become destructive in survival mode. Survival mode really means that all of your other things are turned off in order to be able to make it through this current space that you're in. So, I was in survival, and a lot of us are currently in survival mode. We just don't believe that we are. A lot of us are like pushing through survival mode right now. And I'll get more information on survival mode as we're talking. But survival mode is a real thing. A lot of people don't recognize when they've hit survival mode. And it can honestly be a really big thing that that kind of takes us out of the space of being able to grieve properly. So survival mode, also known as chronic stress. It is a prolonged period of stress that makes it difficult to relax. It is a physiological and psychological response to stressful stimuli, grief, that activates the body's stress response systems and releases stress hormones. Right. The mind and body then focus on fighting danger, which is how survival mode evolved to help people handle threats. However, prolonged survival mode can cause many physical and emotional symptoms that can last for years. Okay?
Absolutely. So, and that's just not facing or dealing with it.
Yeah. So that's where we, you know, how we look at grief is a traumatic thing. It's a constant thing. And some of us have never had the ability to grieve some of those situations. Since we weren't able to grieve, now we're moving into the space of, okay, chronic stress, because our body is stressed, our mind is stressed. We haven't had the opportunity to release and let all of these other things go. So our body is holding on to the stress because that's the only thing that's keeping us going. That's the only thing that's keeping us moving and in motion.
And making us feel some sort of being alive, because some part of you is dying.
Yep.
I'm still alive.
And so you fight. You fight for your life.
It's just like putting the wrong gas in your car. It's running.
Yep.
But this shit ain't running right.
It ain't running right.
Insides up.
Yep, it's tearing that engine up, baby.
Engine is slowly getting fucked up.
Yes.
Hey, Mama Ayla, how you doing?
And I can definitely relate to all this, because this is kind of my situation that I just had. Like, it's just a whole bunch of stuff over the years that's just been eating at me till finally everything came to a head based off of one situation, and it just made you reflect, and then it just caused mental damage, it caused physical damage, it allows you just to fall into this deep hole. Like, so I'm very aware of it, and I stress to everybody, man, if you're dealing with something, find your safe place. Find somewhere for you to sit down and figure it out, or somebody to talk to. Or shit, call me. I don't give a shit.
What about the folks who feel like they shouldn't be grieving, or they don't know why they grieving? Like,
oh, that's good. Hold on. Before we answer that, that's a really good question, though, Pablo. We have our guest getting ready to hop on here with us, Mr. EJ Jenkins. Don't say "oh shucks." He not like that, but he like that. This my brother from another mother. What up, EJ? What's going on, sir?
Like, he's at the drive-thru. What's going on?
No, I'm trying to pull out this parking lot.
So
I thought you got to get a double burger with cheese. I ain't know what was going on.
I'm gonna let you tell the people a little bit about yourself, your credentials, and all of those things, because he really out here. He really the man in these streets, you know, when it comes to speaking up for the peoples and all of that good stuff. So I'm gonna let him tell y'all about himself and all the great things that he does. Have at it, sir.
Well, first, I'm saying, like, Gary, Indiana.
Period.
Still here. I do a lot of activism in the community, not just ours, but pretty much in a way like all over the country. I got a nonprofit right now called Black Labor Week Project. and giving our kids a lot of exposure to what we represent, in hopes that, as they get older, those opportunities can be afforded to them as well. We take care of our veterans, senior citizens. We got youth mentoring programs. We got a whole lot going on. So it's like it's a blessing, but it is a lot of work though.
Absolutely. So he coming to join us to talk a little bit about grief tonight. And then there go my booski, none other than Miss Kendrah Parker.
Hey y'all.
Hey, pull that camera down a little bit. We can see that beautiful face, darling. There we go.
Hey y'all.
There we go, yeah. Hey.
I'm late to the party.
But you here. But you are here. So tonight we finna go ahead and get into this thing a little further because we were just talking about grief. But Kendrah, go ahead and introduce yourself to the people. Tell them a little bit about yourself and what you do and all them letters behind your name too.
I will. You put me on the spot. Okay, so my name is Kendrah Parker, and I'm a licensed mental health counselor in the state of Iowa, a licensed professional counselor in the state of Texas. Right now, I do work all over in the mental health field. So I'm a clinical director at a substance abuse and mental health facility, and I also still do private practice work. And I see children, I see adults from a variety of mental health disorders. I work a lot with trauma and addiction. If y'all have any questions after this, I will be happy to answer any of them.
Pablo, there you go. We just got through talking about doing them lines.
You need
doing them drugs.
What?
There we go.
It's a big deal.
Who's doing the drugs?
You was talking about cocaine. You was talking about cocaine.
First of all, I said if you use the promo code Pablo, it might have something for you in the back. That's all I said.
Either way, you out here promoting drug use. We gonna go ahead and let Kendrah help you out.
Everybody on you.
Go ahead. So,
put some nutmeg in the water. Okay, how about that? Okay, that gets you where you need to be. All right.
Lord. So, Pablo, go ahead and ask the question again. Do you remember your question?
No.
The drugs.
So for people who feel like they shouldn't be grieving, like so say like a family member that you weren't really close to passes, then the grief hits you all of a sudden. Like, how do you talk to that person, or how do you get help if you are that person?
Yes. So the first thing is that someone needs to understand that grief impacts you. If you're a human, it's going to impact you, right? Like you feel sad, and it doesn't matter if you weren't close to that person, even if you're not grieving because, how should I say this? Some people grieve because they weren't close to the person. Like me, I wish I would have had a better relationship, or I wish we would have talked more. So that's a part of it that they may be experiencing instead of grieving like, oh my God, this person was so close to me. I love them. I miss them so much. And it looks different across the board. So if someone is feeling that way, I would encourage them to definitely speak with someone, even if it's someone who is not in the family, because sometimes family members can be biased as to why you feel the way that you feel. So try to talk to a friend, or I'm always going to support therapy.
Period.
That's a good question.
Get your
and what about the people when people come to them like you shouldn't be grieving at all?
See, that's a myth. We're all going to grieve differently. Even when people say, oh, you're not crying, then that means you really aren't grieving as hard. Just because tears don't come doesn't mean I don't feel. I still have emotion. Grief is an intense feeling of loss that we have. So that's also a myth of you can't be grieving or you shouldn't be grieving. No one.
So it was okay for me to grieve when Prince died. That's what you're telling me.
When Kobe passed, I cried.
I was there
did not know that man.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I was there too. Okay. I'm glad
You said you just want to make sure it was safe, huh?
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Appreciate you.
I definitely cried about Prince. I definitely did.
It was sad. It's
Yeah,
sad.
I was in the movie theater watching Purple Rain. Like 2 days later, I was in there in tears. Yeah.
Yeah.
Purple Rain ain't my favorite. It's Under the Cherry Moon.
Under the Cherry Moon. Yeah.
But they would have played that in the movie, I'd have been there. But they just played Purple Rain. So I was like, all right,
They
I'll
play
just check
Under
it
the
out.
Cherry Moon on BET all the time. That's why it became my favorite.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a lot of people who grieve celebrities and things like that. But before we start grieving celebrities, I know a lot of us have talked about different times and spaces on here where we have grieved a loved one and how that hit and how it felt different. Especially like Pablo, Moses, and Mouth. You guys talked about how a lot of your grieving moments have hit different. How you didn't grieve at first, or you felt like you shouldn't have been grieving, and all those kind of things. So I mean, anybody can answer this question. Like, what was the situation or the grief that really, really like knocked you back?
Oh, I can tell you that right now. Yesterday, actually, it's the 27th memorial of my cousin passing, and me and her were super close. Like, she was like my big sister. And when I found out, went to school like normal, you know, went throughout the whole thing, and then I think the summertime hit, because that's usually when I saw her, and I realized I wasn't going to see her, and then I broke down. Like, I didn't even cry at the funeral, but when the summertime hit, I was like, I'm really not going to see her ever again, and not hear her voice, you know, not her run up behind me, grabbing me, you know, like, hey, you know, all those emotions that me and her usually, you know, have, I don't have. That's probably why I don't like people like touching on me anymore, because she was like the last person to really like put hands on me in a loving way, and I was like, so, but yeah, that's my story.
Well, I would definitely say sending my love. Like,
thank you.
You know, my line is always open, and I tell
Yes,
you
ma'am.
that all the time. My line is always open.
My mama fed me ribs yesterday to keep me from crying. So
you said
she
ribs?
loved on her baby.
Yeah, ribs do it.
Right.
Ribs do it every time, huh?
Every time.
Anybody else?
But you gotta cry, bro. You gotta cry sometimes. It's okay to cry.
Come on, Mouth, man. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Tell them, Mouth. Tell them.
You got to.
Mouth gonna always encourage it. Mouth is gonna always encourage y'all to cry. Because I don't know what it is. I mean, I do know what it is, but like even in the space of grief or you feeling the way, like your feelings are valid as a man. I don't care what nobody tell you. I don't care like what people try to make you feel like or what it may look like to somebody. Your feelings are valid. Death is a real thing. Loss is a real thing. And you processing those feelings and emotions is a real thing, because we don't need you to not be processing your feelings of and emotions of grief, and all you doing is up here angry and whooping ass because you don't know how to process your feelings. Yeah, you don't know how to you don't know how to express yourself or none of that. Process your feelings.
Everybody knew this little kid, the little fat boy on the playground that couldn't fight, but always wanted to fight somebody. Then he started crying and snot. That's how I be in the room sometimes. I be in there crying and snot like I'm a little fat boy that can't beat nobody up. But I want to fight everybody.
I mean, I was
you be wanting to fight everybody, but you can't fight nobody. I feel it.
You can't beat nobody, so you just fucking cry. You just fucking cry. And snot be running down your nose, everything.
Yeah. Cry and punch the air.
But you have to lean your head to the right so it don't go in your mouth.
Oh my goodness.
Go ahead, EJ.
Oh my goodness.
No, I'm like that when I be saying like grieve my mother. Because a lot of them saying like the work I do right now is kind of like I came up underneath her. And so it's like a lot of stuff I do, when I get, like whenever I get an award or I get recognized or something goes successful, you know what I'm saying, or you get a compliment, something like that. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't the best kid, so it's like I be wanting her to see, like, you know what I'm saying, you know, my growth. You know what I'm saying? And every time I get that award, you know what I'm saying, like breaks me down. I'm like right on the podium and on the mic, you know what I'm saying, I'm breaking down. And the only reason I'm breaking down because I feel like, you know what I mean, like all this is happening, my mother can't see it. You see what I'm saying? So I mean, I guess sometimes like my grief be like I'm like creating a disservice because I should have capitalized on the time that she was here versus the time that she's gone. So I be feeling, I don't know, it's guilt sometimes, but you know what I mean. It does be breaking the brother down though.
Yeah, I get that, but realize this fact though, brother. She's there with you though. She's pushing you through these triumphs, and she probably the reason, the driving force behind what you do.
Yeah,
you know what
real.
I mean?
That's real.
You know what I'm saying? So she right there. She right there. I'm from the spiritual side, so I'm speaking from that side. She right there, touching you on your shoulder, saying, "Job well done, son."
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Definitely. Yeah.
And I can fully understand the thought process of like, I wish she was here. All of these great things are happening, and I wish she was here. Because y'all know I talk about losing my mom a lot simply because it does affect like your whole being, your whole life, and everything that you've had to navigate. And I know at least 4 of us on here have lost our parents. Our mom in particular, you know what I'm saying? And so that's a grief that I don't wish on anybody. For one, it makes you have to figure out how to identify yourself. Because one of the things, like I said, I think it was last week that I said that, no, that was on After Dark, that losing my mom actually made me have to figure out how to identify who I belong to. Because I had already lost my dad when I was 13. So I didn't have to, I was still able to attach myself to my mama. And then when I lost my mom, it's like, who am I? What am I doing? Where am I going? How am I supposed to move on, go on? And how am I supposed to attach myself to anything and identify who I belong to? And I also talked about how when it first happened, my sister was like, your best friend, Kendrah, was like, oh my God, I'm an orphan. And
I know the feeling.
Listen, and at the time, we thought it was like low-key funny until it really set in and was like, no, for real though. You know, like, no, for real. But a lot of the way you process the grief depends on, like Mouth said earlier, where you fall in place of your family. So I'm number 4 of 5. And then also your relationship with that parent. So you might have had a rocky relationship. My relationship with my mom wasn't rocky, but me and my mom always bumped heads because we were so much alike. And then being that we were so much alike, we would bump heads. And then after we were really trying to build a relationship and trying to get back to like connecting on a regular basis and being around each other on a regular basis. But because she passed before we were able to make that happen, I grieved differently than my siblings did. Yeah, like my brother is the oldest. He grieved differently because he had my mother longer. So all of us grieved a little differently. And then the things that were taking place in our lives when she passed hit us differently as well. So, Kendrah, what is it when you are trying to figure out how to grieve, but also be support to your siblings as you're grieving?
Oh, that is a hard one. So, okay, so both can be possible. But depending on what's going on and what your siblings telling you and what you're telling your siblings, sometimes you are going to have to take a step back and say, I hear you, and just listen and nod. Because like you said yourself, the grief process is going to look very different. Also, too, what may trigger you in the grief process may not trigger your siblings. So being able to take a step back when you're feeling these intense emotions, and then also when you're feeling better about the grief, maybe let's say you're in a place of acceptance, then you can kind of check on them and see where they're at. Because, you know, yes, there's these stages of grief, but they're not a linear process. You may be in acceptance today, but tomorrow you're back angry. You know what I mean? So just check in with yourself and where you're at before you check in with your siblings. Both can be true, but you got to make sure you take care of yourself first before you can take care of anybody else.
That's good. That's some good stuff.
That's real good. I'm assuming that would be pretty much similar to the same cases, like if you were in a relationship and you're a spouse, and like say you lost somebody, and then right after you lost somebody, your spouse lost somebody. So now y'all both are kind of like going through the grieving process.
Yes.
And y'all both are doing it differently, but you know, maybe one person needs a little bit more than the other, depending on, you know, how they're grieving.
Absolutely. And I love that response. Another piece with that, you made me think of this, of ask them what they're needing. They may say, I don't know. So you may just need to sit right next to them. You gotta say nothing, you gotta do nothing. But that presence, that face-to-face support is going to do some sort of healing for that person. Just know that you can't fix it for them, but as long as you sit there, some healing is happening.
Absolutely.
That's a great point.
You muted, Mal.
I'm about to say, Mal.
You muted, Papa.
So yeah, so I just kind
Damn
of thought about
boy,
this,
that
like
damn computer.
them damn computers ain't nothing but the devil. But and thinking about how we grieve when people pass, with so much health issues and everything going on in the family, you know somebody's getting ill and ailing or getting towards the end of the road or anything. Is there anything you can do to like pre-grieve or prepare yourself for grieving? Or
anticipatory grief, that is hard. When I work with clients who have a family member who, you know, has a terminal illness, is you do not want to grieve that person twice. Because what happens is while you're going through their illness with them, you're knowing death is coming and it can be traumatic. And then when it actually happens, sometimes it does feel like a surprise. Like, I cannot believe this has happened. Why me? You know, still going through those stages. And then you're having some of these big feelings all over again. And so I always encourage people to spend the time that you have, figure out how you want to celebrate them while they're still here. Try and create some sort of consistent memory with that person, something that you can do even after they pass. So you can look forward to doing this activity or event. Even if it's just you taking a moment of silence on the anniversary, or you can pick the date if you don't want the anniversary date to be that special time to remember that person by even after they've left us.
Yeah, we got a comment on Instagram. I want to see if it's something we can address with this. I am Queen D2U says lost her mom on Mother's Day when she was 1 year old.
Wow.
So how does that affect the person? So like you never knew that person. Like, do you have memories of that person, or that can be rough, especially like a mother to a person. You know what I mean?
It depends. And so I don't know if I have the right answer to that, just because the memory of the person isn't there, but she may definitely grieve not having a mother in her life at all. Like, that's an ongoing grieving process of like, I wish my mother was here for this, or I wish my mother was here for that. Especially too, like if you see family members have their mother, like for me, I lost my mother at 10, but my good girlfriends all had or have good relationships with their mother. And it's beautiful to see, but sometimes it is like, man, I wish I had that. I wish I had it. Like, that's a form of grieving as well. And so that could be what she experienced in her life, of just longing for what she did not have. So that's a possibility.
Oh, yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. Actually, all y'all talking about is what I've been going through with my dad. My dad passed away 4 years ago from cancer. So literally I had to watch him waste away. You know what I mean? And then when I finally got the call, I wasn't surprised. I knew it was coming. So you know what I mean? So that's that whole anticipatory grief. And then also my cousins had a better relationship with him because he wasn't around. So I was upset that they all knew they had stories with my dad and I didn't. You know, like the only story I had with my dad was when I was like 6, when I fell into a dumpster trying to get a basketball out of there. And I still got the scar on my forehead. Yeah, I still got the scar. And that's what my mom said when I came in the house. Like, you always doing something. But that's the only memory I have with my dad and him walking me home from school when he was in Germany. So yeah, all that right there, I'm living it, all that good stuff. So, yeah.
Wow.
But also, that's the time we need to start like feeling it. Like that was the other thing too. Like I think for myself and my siblings, we were kind of like on the fence about like what was happening because my mom got sick out of nowhere. Like literally out of nowhere. And to see somebody who you've never really seen down, like in my whole life, I had never really seen my mama sick. You know, a little stomach bug, little this, that, and third, but nothing major. Even when she broke her leg, my mom was still out here doing stuff, moving around, making shit happen. And then, so after that, it was never a time where it was like we had actually saw her sick, never saw her in the hospital, none of those things. And so when it happened, we were all like taken aback, but then also just the experience as we went through that and kind of seeing how it happened and the ups and downs and the misinformation, it was a whole thing. And so we didn't even know if we should prepare or don't prepare. So it was that we don't know what the hell going on. So that whole part was also real funky too, because we didn't know if we needed to prepare or anticipate her passing or any of that. And so it really was a funky space to be in, because now you up here just like, I don't know what to do. And prayer was, you know, you don't know whether to pray. You probably got tired of praying, you know, all of those kind of things in those spaces, because you like, man, I don't know what to do. Fuck it, I give up. But I don't want to give up because it's my mama. So it was a bunch of things going on, you know, at that point in time.
Yeah. And I still go to the grave site and all that good stuff. Like, you know, when everybody else stopped, I'm still out there. And it's the craziest because, like I said, me and him, we didn't have the best relationship, you know, but when he was in the hospice, you know, we started talking, we started having conversations, and, you know, I started painting because he was in the hospice. I painted him a painting. And when he passed, his wife tried to keep it. But when they had to repass at his house, my mom was like, she grabbed the painting and she brought it home. Like, yeah, she ain't keeping this. You made it for your daddy, so this you keep it.
It belongs to you, yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, but yeah.
How would you help a child who is grieving their parent? So if you lose your kid, I mean the child loses their parent at an early age. Like I think you said 10, Leo said 13 with her father. How do you, as a parent, even help your child to grieve or get through some of those things? I like what you said about doing something as far as setting outside of like Mother's Day or Father's Day or birthday, but just setting time apart to just still go and make a tradition of going and to the gravesite, or if they're cremated, you know, taking that time. I know for me, my dad passed 3 years ago, and I go like for his birthday, I go for Father's Day, I go the day that he passed, I go for just random I at least go a few times a year to his gravesite. This is what I've created. And then like for his birthdays, one of my fondest memories is us going to the diners. He liked those little diners where, you know, the girls got on the little thing. He loved those diners. So I will go to a diner and have coffee, because that'll be our thing. Have coffee with a whole bunch of cream and a whole bunch of sugar. And I'll get like a meal that I remember us having together, and that'll be my thing. Or I'll watch like an old movie, because we used to watch old movies, and then we used to watch Telemundo together. So that'll be my stuff. Like I'm watching
Telemundo.
Sabramente. We would watch that on Saturday. And so that's what I would do. For me.
Sabidor Gigante.
What would I, as a parent who has a child that lost a parent, like what would you suggest them do as well?
Yes, that's a hard one just because kids, their brains aren't fully developed yet. So they don't understand grief fully. So they may feel one way for a certain amount of time, but it may shift and change as they grow, which is expected. So as a parent, you again that support, that face-to-face support, trying to be there, for them as much as you can. Don't don't let them push down their emotions. Set aside some time to actually speak with them, quiet time away from things, just because kids, now they try and silence everything and hide behind technology, and that doesn't allow us to feel. So teaching the kid or child to feel their feelings on what they're going through. Sometimes it's hard for kids to talk about it, depending on the age. I would say between the ages of 5 to 10, maybe sort of art activity, whether if they're drawing, painting, or coloring, to express their feelings. So like when they say, hey, explain this artwork to me, and you can help them with some emotions or feeling words to be associated with that. Anything past 10, they should be able to talk about it a little bit, but then setting aside a time to help them talk about it. One, I like to call it a God box for folks, is putting together some sort of box. You can decorate it, you can make it cute, or you can have it plain as you want to be. But inside this box, you're going to keep a few items, a few nuggets of that parent, whether it's pictures, artifacts, whatever it may be, to help you remind you of that parent, and then sit down with your parent, or sit down with a loved one to review that child what's in that box. Why is it special to you? Just to keep the love alive for what you felt for this parent. And I get it. Those are good things to talk about as far as emotions. It won't always be pretty. So when they are feeling a way that's negative or anger, just let them feel it. Honestly, just don't let them hide it. Anything can trigger it, whether it's a song on the radio or a scent. Our body holds on to certain things, and so whenever it's present, acknowledge it. As long as the child is able to do so. When the child isn't ready to acknowledge what they're feeling and going through right now, just let them have their time, and then make sure you circle back and say, hey, you remember when this was happening? You don't want to talk about it? It's now the time to speak. So that way it gives them an autonomy to say, I had my moment of silence or whatever I was going through, but now I can speak with you about it. Right. So there's several things you can do. I know there was a lot. I'm sorry.
No, that's good stuff. That was definitely good stuff. And be prepared for that kid to wild out.
Yeah.
Be prepared for that child to wild out, i.e. me.
And you also got to be prepared too, because sometimes the parent brain might not be fully developed yet.
That's true. Yeah. So when you have a parent who is not emotionally intelligent,
they
may act just like
you put that very nicely. You put that very
politically correct.
He said,
I was educated.
Yeah.
And sometimes the kid can feel, I believe children can feel like survivor's remorse in a way sometimes too, depending on like the situation. And sometimes they can be mad at the other parent, like why you and not them. But it's not like I hate you more or I dislike you. It's just that process of pain that they're going through, because whether it was one parent or the other, they're still going to feel the same amount of pain.
It really is. I like what you said that too. That made me think of, even if the parents are still together, and a parent, if they're not separated, they're still in a marriage or a relationship or whatever, that kid may not acknowledge how they feel, but show concern for you, and it's in those times that the kid know, like, I thank you for checking on me. But now,
and I want to add EJ to this, because EJ, can you hear us? Because you deal with a lot of youth, correct? You deal with youth as well, right?
Yeah.
So we're dealing with young people. Do you find some of these issues and some of the things you deal with them, like you might not realize why a child's acting out or something's going on, but can you recognize these things, or like? Do you have
Come on, man.
Do they find like in your program, is this like a safe place for them sometimes to free themselves and be and open up sometimes because sometimes they can't open up at home with their parents.
Right.
And I thank you for doing what you're doing in your community.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Like, and it's crazy y'all talking about this because the mentoring program that I got at the elementary school, Banneker, what they did, they gave me the 10 what they perceived to be the worst kids in the school. In the fourth grade, though, fourth grade. So 2 of them in a group lost their grandmother that they was real close with. 1 lost their mother. So in the beginning, like there was some were just acting out just to be acting out, you know what I'm saying? And but they let you know right in the beginning that they lost their parents. You know what I'm saying? They lost their mother, lost their grandmother. So I had to pay attention to them a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And it got to the point where they was acting out for like against me for no reason. So what we started to do is like some of them you just gotta fill the void. So of course, I'm not a mother or a grandmother, so sometimes you got to fill the void of what really touched that child, you know what I'm saying, with whoever just passed. So like on our end, for one of them, it was like it was somebody we gave him somebody he could actually believe in and trust. So he started confiding in us a little bit more. He allowed us to hold him accountable. One one was real difficult because so the one that let us hold him accountable lost his grandmother. The one that lost his mother, it was like he got triggered, you know what I'm saying, really quick. So what we started doing to get him to try to channel his emotions, and try to figure out like, hey, do you think before you start acting, just act. And then once you start acting, where's it coming from? And every time, you know what I'm saying, we end up talking, you know what I'm saying, he'll start breaking down and say he misses his mother. So that was the most difficult one we had to actually deal with. The other 2 with their grandmas, it was like they're filling the void. It's kind of hard to like, you know what I'm saying, it's hard because you really don't know who you're getting each day you come around them. And that's the part that actually struggles with your impatience. I mean, they're creating impatience from you because it's like, man, am I really getting to them? Are they finessing me? Like, what's going on right now? But we end up finding out going through the whole year with them, it's like we were able to actually finally get to the one with get to the child that lost his mother. And once we did that, we really know sent tied to him. We showed him like I guess his void was the warmth. Was the warmth and the love that, you know what I'm saying, that he was like used to get from his mother. And we was giving him that. Like I started bringing more people in, and he was seeing that people are really paying attention to him. And I ain't talking about like paying attention to him like, you know what I'm saying, like we going out our way to say, hey, are you okay today? Nah, it's like, you know what I'm saying, we hold them accountable. We talking to them. We like, you know what I'm saying, we scolding them when we need to. We checking them when we need to. Like these 4th graders. But it's still that indirect love, like, you know what I'm saying, like I'm not pulling you to the side and say, hey, look, I love you. I'm saying like, hey, look, I see something in you. Let's go. You know what I'm saying? And then that was like that brought them more around us. Like when we ended the program this year, they all came, gave us a real big hug. But those three really gave us, you know what I'm saying, like hugs and like, you know what I'm saying, real thanking us and all that. And we think we did something like we know none of the kids like are their overnight success. But you know what I'm saying, our program, we're gonna be sticking with them as they go to 5th, 6th, and 7th on out. So that's our goal right now. They all gave me their phone numbers, and you know what I'm saying, they check in with me. That's another indication showing that that we got, you know what I'm saying, like we touched the inside of them and filling some kind of void emotionally that they was actually missing.
That's good.
That's dope. That's dope.
Because a lot of times the schools can't really touch the kids or like really give the kids the attention that they need or deserve as they're grieving, as they're going through these different processes. A lot of times they just try to chalk it up to a behavior, but it's not a behavior. I'm grieving and I'm 10 and I don't even know what this is. I can't describe it. I don't even know how to tell you what's happening with me. But all I know is I feel all stuff. Go ahead.
Well, we ended up finding out too that so a lot of so all the kids in our group, they end up doing great, you know what I'm saying, academically as well. Like one even got straight A's. So you know what I'm saying, but we ended up finding out that these kids, like you just said, Tiff, you know what I'm saying, like they stuff there like they already traumatized. They already got the, you know what I'm saying, trauma going through the grief. I mean, like, you know what I'm saying, from their relatives past and their mother passed, their grandmother, you know what I'm saying, all that past. So they struggle on the inside. A lot of these teachers are agitating these kids, like as if they're not, as if, like these are fourth graders. These are literally 9 and 10-year-olds, and they literally, you know what I'm saying, some of these teachers treat them like they are grown people. And I'm like, man, how can you do that? Like, you know what I'm saying? How can you do that? Like, you know, they literally told us, I'm sorry to get a little, you know what I'm saying, like a little upset on this end because we doing every week, we send them in there, we going over all these things. Like we really, you know what I'm saying, like trying to touch them, and we're not in here, you know what I'm saying, trying to reward them and all that. So every lunch hour, we buy them lunch. These teachers were trying to take our kids out of this program, talking about they're bad, and we don't feel they should be getting rewarded in your program. I'm like, where's the reward? What are we doing? I can't buy them lunch because I'm taking their lunch out.
A child can't learn without proper clothing, food, and shelter.
Right.
A child is not going to learn without clothing, food, and shelter.
Exactly.
And another thing, the problem is in the I was gonna say another one of the thing is it's so different now because it's not like when we was going to school growing up. Teachers were teachers because that was their desire and they wanted to be teachers. A lot of these teachers now are doing teachers because it's a job, or they getting a $50,000 house grant for 6 years and they can live somewhere for free if they teach at the school for 2 years in the community. And it's actually hurting our kids more than it's hurting the other communities because they're offering such these great incentives to these people that really don't give a flying fuck. It's like the same thing with the police officers on the street. A lot of them don't want to be police officers. It's just a job for them. So half of them out there scared. That's why they quick to pull their gun and shoot because they yeah. So it's just like with teachers, it's not a desire to be a teacher anymore. Now it's just a job. So I'm not really concerned about the emotional side of this black kid that looks nothing like me in the classroom. All I know is I'm here to teach him A, B, C, D, and I can't teach him A, B, C, D because he's talking back, but I don't really understand why he's talking back to me or what could be the root of that problem.
Yeah.
And then the other part of that is that a lot of these teachers are taking those kind of things from those children because they didn't receive that kind of stuff. They didn't receive the love and care that they needed in order to be able to come their best self, or they see something in these children, or they see what you all are doing and they trying to take it away as a way to make the child upset, make them feel away. Like, why can't I buy this child lunch? This may be the only time this child may eat a complete meal throughout the week. This may be the only time they get to eat good is when they with me. Why can't they have their lunch? What is it? What is the problem that is so big that they can't have lunch?
Listen, I know you guys have all heard the quote of hurt people hurt people. And unfortunately, we got a lot of teachers out here who are not whole or healed, and they're teaching our babies, and our babies are going off into the world with these different mental health issues. I mean, like, again, like EJ's mentioned, like they're already going through trauma. That's yet another experience that they have on a notch on their belt to take into the world with them. Of like, I can't trust nobody. If my teacher, this person's supposed to teach me and nurture me and care for me, I can't get that here.
Yeah.
Baby. Really don't say. Well, I'm saving the most at the end. We gave them all like I said, they excel academically. Now, mind you, they was ready to kick all 10 of these kids out at the beginning of the school year. So we told them, like, at the beginning of the school year, we will actually give them at the end of the program, but they have to earn it. And they all earned it academically. These teachers, it was only 2 teachers. They literally, because we bought them all a pair of shoes as a reward for completing the program, the first year of the program. And for actually making an effort and turning themselves around. Like I said, they're not saints. We didn't turn nobody into no angel overnight. But they have made a whole lot of progress. And it showed academically. So we bought them all a pair of shoes. We had 2 teachers. They're like, I don't know why they're getting shoes. I don't know why they're getting shoes. The principal had to step in and say, look, they getting shoes. They've been doing good. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, this, like I already said, they're inflicting their own trauma on these kids, and that's not fair to these kids. Now, how can we turn the kid around when you making some progress with them, and they got to go right back to the teacher for them to take it away from them?
I don't understand that either. Nicole said, I will never understand why people with no compassion or patience chooses teaching of all things.
Right.
Job. It's a job.
That's it.
Like in DC, they give you housing and everything. Yep. If you teach for 3 years in the public school system, then you get your house.
Mm-hmm.
And some of those eventually allow for you to be able to have like your student loans forgiven and all of that other kind of stuff too.
Yep.
So a lot of people choose it for that reason. But Joy said her dad passed when she was 11 and she was crying about it one night and her mom yelled at her and said, he's dead, get over it. Woo.
Ooh. There's no time. There's no magical button to say, I'm fine now. You can grieve for 1 year, 5 years, forever. Grief is a process, and it's yours.
And that was something I learned in my 40s. Actually, I'm sorry, my 50s. Because I used to be that person that used to look at people and be like, why are you doing that? It's 10 years later. Why are you still posting on Facebook, happy birthday, mama, on heavenly birth? And then until it happens to you, you really don't understand it. And then you can get that compassion and understand from it. So now I feel like a complete asshole for all those thoughts I had the years previous to that, saying that about people, because I definitely can relate and understand now. So now I think I find myself in a better place to talk about things that I know about, that I don't know about. And I think that helped me be less judgmental of people as well, because you never know what a person is going to do until you.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Look growth.
Look growth.
Growth.
You know what that is?
Little growth. Pop with pop socks.
Yeah, man.
Nicole said, hell, I'm still grieving 26 years later. Exactly. Like, my father passed, like I said, when we were 13, and she was 10. And so it's definitely one of those things where, like, growing up, like father-daughter dances and all that kind of shit, I used to be like, man, fuck y'all. And that used to really be my feelings. Like, man, fuck y'all. And so even as I got older, and then
you got a dad, and you got a dad and a mama in the house. Oh,
listen,
nigga.
But even with my even like I said earlier, I was the child that kind of wilded out a little bit because of losing my father, and I didn't know how to process that grief. I didn't know how to process that. And the one thing that I still remember about my father passing is that we had just talked to him the day before, and we were supposed to go see him when we got out of school the next day. We get home, I'm excited to go see my dad, all this and whatever. And then when I get home, my sister's friend comes out and she kind of like walking with me. She like walking me down the street and this, that, and the third or whatever. And I'm like, girl, what's going on? I want to go home. We getting ready to go see my daddy. And she ended up like kind of like walking me into the house and all of that. And then that's when I found out. But it was a thing. And like the way it happened on like one of the things that I was excited about. And so it'd be those kind of things. I wowed out because eventually, like some years later, my mama started dating and I was like, you ain't my goddamn daddy. I was that kid.
My Doritos.
Nigga, you ain't my daddy. Don't eat my Doritos. All of that. I was that kid because I was like, And then also as a child, like you kind of witness different things. So I witnessed my mom being like this loving woman in this relationship with this man. And I'm like, not that I said this to her, but in my brain, I'm like, bitch, who is you? And like, what's happening? Because who are you right now?
Why you ain't faithful to my daddy? What's happening?
And right, and then why I'm seeing you act this way, and I never saw that with my dad, you know. And so then that becomes part of it too. Like you're trying to figure out what all of these different dynamics are and what it looks like and how it affects you. And it was like, well, goddamn. And so, like, even as I got older, I still used to ask my mama, like, who was you with that man?
I don't know.
Who was you with him?
I don't know.
But, I mean, it's not that my parents didn't have a good relationship, but I was younger, so I really didn't get to see a lot of their relationship. So, you know, as I got older and I saw my mom with this person, I'm like, ugh.
Ooh, then you didn't understand. Then you didn't understand about being an adult, the different dynamics of different relationships.
You different with different people.
Yep.
Yeah, and I was just like, But then, you know,
that man might have been like my grandma would say, damn booger.
What?
It also is one of them kind of things where it's like you said, you are a different person with different people, but also just like you have a different level of understanding the older that you get. Like I really was like, I don't like this nigga. I don't know why I don't like this nigga, but I don't like this nigga. And the one thing that I can say is that my intuition has never been very far off, even when I was younger. So just like all y'all say that shit be creepy when I be texting y'all or hit y'all with them eyes, that's a little bit of intuition and discernment. But like even back then, I just never knew that's what it was, and I was like, I don't like this nigga. And it wasn't just something to do with my dad. It was just really a bunch of other like things. And so as we go through these different stages of grief and different stages of awareness of what's happening, or even just trying to figure out who we are, how we're growing, how to express ourselves. And my mom used to tell us all the time, like, if you want to express yourself, write a letter. Write me a letter. You can express yourself in a letter. Baby, when I tell you, we found so many letters that I used to write my mama. And I remember I told her one time I was running away. I wrote her a letter and told her I was running away. And I went and hid in the closet. So, yeah, I was hell.
I actually left. I walked about a block and a half.
Now, I was too scared to leave. You know, this was the 90s. You know, I lived in the hood. I wasn't going nowhere. I lived in Gary. Gary was the murder capital of the world back then. You know, that was the murder capital. I wasn't walking down the street, you know. But I was just going to make you think that I had walked down the street. But
so, what about people?
What closet did you go in?
My bedroom closet, and I covered myself up with some stuff and slid the doors closed.
Sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Absolutely. You gotta fight the good fight.
Yeah, you do. If you don't, nobody will. What about people who had parents their whole life and like they lose their parents in like adult years, later, like 30. You know what I'm saying? Like and their parents been married that entire time, and then they lose one. What do you say to them when like maybe their mom or their dad want to like venture out in the world? You know what I mean? You know, start talking to folks again. You know,
so they've been together 30 years.
Yeah.
And now they gone.
And so you will have to be in a place of acceptance yourself before you can even say anything to that parent. Because if you're still angry, you're not going to be supportive to your other parent who has accepted and is ready to move on and live their life. So checking yourself first before you acknowledge to your other parent that it is okay to move on. And even when you say be okay, give the okay, just know that you still may have big feelings come up with that too, just because, like Sid said, like who is this Harper? Who's this man? You know what I mean? Like, who is this person coming into my parents' life? So it's just like, you have to trust that your parent is making a healthy decision about bringing another person into their life. Because if not, then you're going to question the new person. Like, who are you? Where'd you come from? What you do for a living? Basically checking out their safe person or not. But understand they would never amount to your parent, like to you. They're not that significant to you, but they may become significant to your still living parent.
Black Bold Beauty
Oh,
on Instagram said, I salute mentors and mentees. They reach places parents can't reach. My middle son took himself to the neighborhood meals program. I'm grateful of them. 100. Go ahead, Papa.
Hey, Leo, you reminded me of one time I did the same thing. I went ahead in the closet in the house. My fat ass got hungry, kept coming out to get something to eat. But then after a while, I was like, ain't nobody looking for me.
Now nobody looking for me. That's hilarious.
When you say that shit, I put up a good fight. I say, yeah, I ain't gonna leave the house because I ain't gonna leave too much food right there. I ain't got no money in the streets.
Listen, I was a little chubby thing too, mouth, so I understand, okay? I definitely need to go in there and get my little can of Hawaiian punch, okay? So I ain't going too far.
Can of Hawaiian
after a while, I'll be like, it's nighttime. I'll be like, she ain't looking for me yet.
I had my snacks.
Listen.
Did you say
y'all ain't watched none of the white movies from the 80s? You gotta pack a snack kit when you go.
I definitely packed some snacks and everything.
Yeah, you gotta pack the whole joint.
Went to the park, sat there. It's like, all right, she ain't coming for me. I'm gonna go on back. She was right there. She was right. She was
lights start going out. Did the street lights come on? You like,
when it started getting dark, I was like, I got to go home.
Yeah, like this. Wow. But this place look different.
You was brave. You was outside.
I'm just gonna say y'all some bold folks, because we didn't play that in no Haitian household. Listen, my mom will teach you a lesson. Oh, you want to run away? Bet. She'll lock the door.
Nicole said,
don't play them games.
Have y'all had to grieve people who are still alive and in your life?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, hold up. My Aquarius nature ain't gonna let me say that out loud too much.
All right, what you trying to say? Let me see if I can. Let me see if I can.
Let me make a sandwich and go back in the closet.
Right.
Jason's silly.
I'm just saying, like some people just need to be gone, man. Like
some people you have to.
But why is that grieving though? If they gotta go, how's that grieving?
Because you still have the memories.
Because you don't know how to get rid of them.
It's a loss.
It's still a loss.
I guess it's like that conversation when you talk about where you might feel like that person was that good person for you, but they're not that good person. So now you're grieving that person because you thought they was more than what they are to you.
Like when Nino killed G Money and he cried a little bit before he shot him. That same thought process.
Yeah, that was not. But
he looked at him like that's my man's. I grew up with him.
Yeah, I understand it, but I don't know, man. I just like once I'm done. Like I cut you off.
So,
well, it depends.
But also, go ahead, Kendra. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say it depends. Let's say you have a sibling choose to leave your life for whatever reason.
I cut all my siblings off.
You cut them off. Yeah.
Well, you got a best friend?
Huh?
You got a best friend?
I'm in the process of auditing my circle right now. So right now,
you a man. You see my face? You a man.
Kendra, look right here.
You see my face?
I'm auditing my circle right now.
See you a man. You a man, right? You a man, right?
Kendra,
so be truthful. You don't have that one cooler pack of cheese that you grieve.
I'm auditing my circle right now.
Kendra, look right here. Look right here, Kendra.
You ain't want to let it go.
Look at me.
See my face.
You have to listen.
Look at me.
I can't use
Moses,
but if
Moses is a problem.
He's a problem.
Ask Nicole. He's a problem. He's the problem child.
I am not the problem child. I am not the problem child.
Moses, what did you do? What did you do to your therapy sessions this month? Because we were talking about grief.
Yeah, man. Listen, look, I'm not. There's too much.
He put his therapy sessions on hold because we were talking about grief all month.
He might need a call after this. That's all I'm saying.
He's definitely gonna need a call
afterwards.
Yeah.
Okay, we do a consultation.
No, Pablo, I know you're not over here trying to tell people to call me.
If they call you, they can't call me.
You are deflecting.
Look, like
I'm passing out both numbers.
I'm reading the sentence over and over again. Like, have to grieve some? Like, listen,
out.
Like, I'm cool.
So for me,
I can't say that. So let's say this. Okay, so Nicole, the comment is from my best friend. If she chose to leave my life today, I would be distraught because it's just like, well, what happened? Why couldn't we fix this relationship? We've been friends for a decade now. So it's like those 20 years meant nothing to you. We can't talk through it. We can't process this. We can't work through this friendship. Like, that's painful.
Yeah.
For some, like I said, I understand everything you just said. It made sense.
It makes sense. Okay.
It does. I just don't feel like going through it.
But how you
because you avoid, like you're an avoider. You have an avoidant personality, Moses.
Excuse me.
And I'm not
even. No, let me ask y'all this. Because do you think it's different from a man and woman's perspective?
No.
Well, hold on. Men should be able to feel their feelings and their emotions. I don't care.
You feel your feelings, but I'm kind of like Moses. If my best friend, even though I know this not gonna happen, but if somebody I consider my friend say, "Oh, this ain't it," I'm like, "Nigga, fuck you." Okay, cool. Sorry, nah, bro. Peace.
You can say that now, but when you at home, sleep in the bed, or getting ready to go to bed, what your feelings gonna do? Like, you go think about what?
No, I'm gonna go to bed.
Fuck that nigga.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's the thing.
Okay.
That's the thing.
Okay. So
a lot of that. Wait a minute. A lot of that is pride. A lot of that is you putting your pride to the forefront instead of really recognizing the impact that this person had in your life. Mm-hmm. Like, it's easy to say, I'd be like, fuck that nigga or whatever. But at the end of the day, like, whether this person, you talk to this person again or not, if something was to happen to that person, when that happened, you like, fuck that nigga. But in your mind, or when things start to happen in life, you're going to be like, damn, I wish, or I shoulda, woulda, coulda. Because that's when the shoulda, woulda, couldas come in. Because you didn't take the time to process it. And a lot of times what men do, they don't ever think about the emotions. They thrive off, well, nigga, okay, what the, it's all of that.
It's a different emotion.
It's still an emotion. It's just a different emotion.
It's just a different. Here's my thing though. Like you just said, it's pride. It could be a little bit of ego too, and that's something that I recently learned, the difference between pride and ego. Mm-hmm. Ego could get you in some shit.
I'll get you killed.
Yeah, ego could get you killed.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that. I personally didn't know that. But like I said, it's a little bit of ego too. But at the end of the day, like if you come to me and tell me like, yo, it's like deuces, okay.
I just think men and women friendship dynamics are different in friendships. Like it's just a different
older man.
I tried to use a sibling, but it didn't latch.
What? Yeah. No.
For call. Like the hell.
Like,
y'all about to make me air out some dirty.
You have a better chance with me trying to get with a friendship.
Sibling. Like me and my sisters, 10 years apart.
Closer to I hold my friendships closer than my siblings.
Same, I feel that too.
Mm-hmm. I hold my friendships closer than my siblings.
We don't really talk. Since my mother passed, we don't even really talk.
Listen,
and she got married. She mad about some petty stuff, you know what I'm saying? And like I told my grandmother, I was like, we can have a conversation whenever she's ready to have a conversation. Mm-hmm. But until she's ready to have a conversation with me, I'm cool on it. You know, I text her every now and then, be like, hey, God bless you. I hope all is well. How you feeling? But other than that, hey, life is life. I'm gonna pray for you. Hope you come around.
And like you said, at some point, now that does happen, right? So like, it's the initial loss that can be painful, but at some point you will accept it and get to the point of like, I still pray for you. I wish you the best. No hard feelings.
The initial feeling was like, damn, why she feel like that? Why she didn't say that to me?
Yeah.
When
that's
I'm getting stuff
part. Like that's
that's the grief part.
That's the grief part. Like why she feel like that. You know what I'm saying? And so I think when we say grieving a person that's still alive, y'all thinking that we mean like fully grieving, like you would grieve the person that passed. It's no, like there is a feeling.
I don't really think I had to grieve. I think when I first heard it, I just like, ooh, I gotta go boo boo. Yeah.
Whatever now. Joy said, even though you're done, you still grieve. You just may refuse to acknowledge it. Absolutely, Joy.
Absolutely. Because I think for a sibling, it's a lot. I mean, especially if you grew up in a household together, right? Yeah. You have all of these years of growing up in a household with this person where you have memories, you have experience, you've shared a womb at one time. You both lived in your mother's womb. Y'all both lived in that space, and outside of that at the same time. So, I think that's a different type of grief if you no longer have the relationship that you may have had at one point with that sibling. Mm-hmm. I didn't grow up in the household with my siblings, but I actually still grieved my siblings in a way because of the relationship that I felt like we could have had I grown up in the household with them. They have a different house. My brother and two sisters, and even my older brother, because he ended up moving with them. Their relationship dynamic is completely different from mine with my siblings, and I see it. They probably don't see it, but because I'm my mother's only child, I see the difference in the relationship dynamic. And at one point, I had to grieve that part and kind of let it go, because I'm like, that's just the way the cookie crumbled. That's how it was. I can't expect to have the kind of relationship that these four grew up in a household together to have with me. Mm-hmm. So I'll just create my own relationship with them outside of the expectation of what I wanted.
Mm-hmm. I know for me, when it comes to grieving people that are still in my life, or that are still alive, like the shit really hurts. Simply because one, I feel like I'm a person that's very approachable when it comes to certain things in regards to friendship, and I always like make myself available to conversations. Like, I don't know everything, I'm not a perfect being, so I'm open to conversations. A lot of times what people do is, or a lot of times what I've been told is that people were scared of disappointing me or scared of addressing their issues, so they just kind of let it dissipate. On my end is that I'm always the friend reaching out, checking in, making sure you're good, all those kind of stuff. And I was always pouring until I felt like it was one-sided. And now I no longer want to pour, because I don't have nothing to pour, because I done poured into, everything and everybody. And so now I've shifted the dynamic and made the focus about pouring into myself. And so when I don't make time or don't have the time to pour into everybody else, I don't hear from anybody. Like, there is no checking in on me. There is no reaching out to me to see if I'm good. And so I had to come to the realization it's okay for me to let go. It hurt like a motherfucker to have to let go. It hurt because, like, damn, we did have this long ass friendship and we have been friends for this amount of time. But also it made me look at the dynamics of those friendships. I was always pouring. What was the common factor in our friendship? What was the common thing that we dealt with in this friendship? And it was a lot of trauma. It was also a friendship based on a false narrative. It was also, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was a one-sided thing. I was this friend and you were that friend. Not saying that they might not see it differently, but this is how I saw it. And so a lot of that is hurtful when you're trying your best to maintain friendships and you aren't receiving the same type of energy. So at some point you got to recognize when to let that shit go. And I did. And so it hurt. And on the flip side of that, I just be like, well, if you cared, that's what it boils down to for me. If you cared,
Yeah.
There would have been a little more effort. There would have been a little bit more time and effort put into the friendship, and not it just being one-sided. So
I think it's just so many more layers in a female relationship than a man friendship.
Not really. I think it's the same amount.
And that's not even, that wasn't just a female to female friendship either.
I mean, that female to male. I mean, it's always I'm speaking. I don't have that many layers in my male to male relationships like that, where it's not that heavy.
But I also think because women are more emotional, women are more or easier prone to attach.
Yeah,
and
I think you guys have super more attachments than me and my guy friends do. Like, we're not taking pictures together and kissing each other on the cheek in the club, and I'm not rubbing his booty, taking a picture with him and all that. That stuff women do because y'all are like emotionally connected. Like, y'all have layers. Like, me and my man, we just like, hey, what's up, bro? What's going on? You know what I'm saying? I might not talk to that nigga all month, but I'll talk to that nigga tomorrow, and it'd be like we just got off the phone because we have that connection. But it's not like it's a lot of emotional layers.
I'm not calling
but there could be
like,
layers.
Friend,
that's the thing.
Friend,
there could be layers.
Men
just choose not to.
So maybe I have a misunderstanding because maybe y'all don't understand me. Like, I don't consider a lot of people like friends. I don't use that word lightly. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Most people are associates with me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, I can give a fuck less because I know where you at. Like how we was talking about how far you can come in my house. Now I got two friends that can roam through the house, do whatever they want to. But most of the people I deal with, you can come in the living room, but you need somebody in the kitchen, I get it for you.
Absolutely.
No,
you know what I'm saying?
I got relationships.
Michelle said, hold on. Michelle said, my mother's reasoning is there a reason? There is a reason, a season, and a lifetime. The person was only there for a reason or a season.
Absolutely.
That's,
go ahead, Moses.
No, but like I've had, like, I'm not gonna lie to you. The best man at my wedding, like, we have layers. Like, we don't have to talk every day, but if, like you just said, if we talk,
that's a true friend. That's a true friend.
Like,
right.
For some odd reason, he be doing the same thing Leo be doing. He'll sense it, and for some odd reason, I get a phone call or a text, and it'll be like a paragraph.
That's your friend. That's your friend.
And like for me, if I feel something wrong with him, I'll just pull up. Like, I just go to Brooklyn and just pull up on him. But it's
so that's what I'm saying. I understand that point of having those layers in that relationship.
But my thing is, like I said, I'm not gonna hold you. That bond right there, that thing took a minute to build, and it's like we've been through the trenches.
Like, me and my best friend, we've been friends since ninth grade, and I always tell people, God put us together.
The people that are quick to cut relationships and try to come at you on some real rah-rah, and then you just have to, like, I just don't feel the energy. Like, if it was that easy to cut, oh, look, bro.
But who said it was easy?
And this is what I mean by this. Like you say, your man, that's your man, that's your dog, that's your friend. Of course, there's layers to that. If something happened in y'all relationship and y'all couldn't fix it, of course that'll be emotionally damaged. But the same dude that you don't see all the time, that's your man. Let's say you go to work and you hang out with this dude every day. Y'all go have a drink or something every now and then. But that nigga say, I ain't fucking with you no more. You be like, nigga, fuck you.
Yeah.
Because that's not your man. You know what I'm saying?
And so that's exactly that goes to
you see this person every day. But y'all don't have layers.
I think y'all confusing with being okay with cutting them off with not grieving. If you feel nothing, that relationship had no substance. So just like you said, Mouth, you see this person every day, but y'all just, y'all work together. And if you going on about your business, then you don't really give a fuck. So that means that relationship really didn't have substance. Y'all just had a commonality. That's the difference between in a relationship or a friendship where you have substance and the relationship has a bond. There is a form of grieving that will take place. Like, y'all might not recognize it as grieving or see it as such, but it's definitely something that takes place. And she said, talk that talk, best friend. She said, for y'all who don't grieve, You need to check y'all connections or really be okay with making room for sadness. Go watch Inside Out. Absolutely.
What Inside Out?
The cartoon.
Absolutely.
That's a cartoon.
Yeah, that's the cartoon.
About your feelings and emotions.
About feelings.
About feelings and emotions. It's about
Oh,
feelings and emotions.
emotions.
And the reason
she said mouth might be on to a little.
I was coming.
He like, you missed one.
You don't miss. Don't
He
say
like,
on me.
hold on, don't skip that shit about me though. And then she also said my mouth might be on to a little something. But the reality of it is that we have to understand that grieving, whether they are alive or dead, is a real thing.
Oh yeah, of course.
Just like we said, like we talked about last week, grieving friendships and relationships, it's the same thing. We talked about that. Like even a relationship, like a relationship that didn't last, that you thought might have lasted, or that was going to last, or it was long lasting, whether it was a marriage or whatever the case might have been, that when it broke up, there was some grieving that took place. Y'all might be like, oh, I'm glad it's over. Yeah, you're glad it's over, but that relationship being over made you have to do some introspection. It made you have to look at yourself and take some things into account. It made you have to recognize what was going on around you, but then also it made you, I need to go to therapy. Some of us are in therapy because of relationships from our past. Some of us are in therapy, period, because you did have to take a look at yourself. You did have to realize you was the one that was fucked up. You did have to recognize that, oh, I'm the one that's toxic and I need to people. That part too. Why I keep choosing fucked up people. Why do I think all of these red flags is an amusement park instead of a reason to go ahead and walk away?
And all that is from the introspective.
And it is. Hold on. And y'all feel like I didn't need to pause my therapy session? Like, this was a therapy session right here. Like, come on.
So like the baby boy, right? When Yvette came outside after work and she somehow Jody ain't there, and then she realized she had the keys in her hand, something like that.
Yeah, because it was kind of from an introspective.
Okay.
I love
it. Target bingo.
Yo, but I'm just saying, y'all told me not to pause my therapy sessions, and here we are.
Can't have too much therapy.
You
can't have too much.
And you've also learned how to look at it from your introspective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kendrah, thank
That's
you.
the word for the night. Every time I say the word introspective, everybody in the audience, y'all gotta take a drink.
Take a shot.
Yeah, take a shot.
Take a shot of water.
Wait, remember we did that on here? I don't remember what word it was, but we did that on here.
Yeah.
We was drunk as hell on that show.
We should do it again on some show. I don't know.
Tequila bullshit on here with us or somebody?
Yes, it was with Tequila and Bullshit was on here. They need to come back.
I think by the end of the show, I was like,
everybody was drunk that night. Okay.
And the words, when it comes to like grieving, like, exes and things like that, I know that can be a situation. But in the words of Maya, if you died, I wouldn't cry because you never loved me anyway.
Ooh.
And that's
Maya.
Based on introspective. Based on the introspective.
Maya Angelou?
No.
Right, because you just can't say Maya and then because niggas' brains go all over the place. I'm like,
Maya up, jump my butt, nigga. What, Maya?
Okay.
Oh, Maya.
I'm like,
y'all some Negroes.
She
don't say Miss Angelou.
We was looking at from the wrong introspective.
I'm just saying.
Wrong.
We call Maya the age.
Maya, my love is like, whoa, Maya.
Same age.
Yeah.
That girl
EJ
did not
sent his apologies. He said he gonna hop back on here with us another time. He had an important phone call to come through, so he just said he want to.
Oh, he important man.
Y'all.
He be all right.
Yeah, he said he want to thank y'all.
He definitely got to come back because he had a good introspective.
He did have good introspective.
He said it was dope as hell.
Retrospective was introspective.
Take a shot.
He said the conversation was very soothing and healing, to say the least. Thank you all for having me on.
And he from Gary, and he don't sing, so we gotta clap that up.
He from Gary and he don't what?
Sing. So you know y'all can't sing out that way.
Hell.
Wow.
You know y'all can't sing out that way.
Ain't that where Michael
You
Jackson
can go to
from?
hell because I can't sing.
I said what I said.
I'm with you.
Anywho,
It depends on what introspective you look at it from.
Anywho, let's take a look at this video before we get up out of here.
Reason why I see so many people offended in their next season after transitioning from a season where they felt rejected is they don't grieve it. And what you don't grieve, you don't metabolize. What you don't grieve, you don't recognize. What you don't grieve, you don't honor. Yeah. If the season meant anything to you, it should be worth your tears. It should be worth your sadness. It should be worth the loss of your appetite. It should be worth all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But if you're gonna sit there and be like, it didn't mean nothing to me, no way.
Forget them.
I don't care. Well, first of all, you lying. Because your body language is lying on you.
In your feelings.
Right, you in your feelings. Instead of just saying, I'm going to miss this place or this hurts. After the goodbye, I thought there would be a different level of connection and it's not there and I need to grieve that. If you do not properly grieve, you will never properly leave.
Boy, fuck you.
Too much. He lost me when he said appetite.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna hold you. I did go through that. I did.
So, you gotta.
I didn't like his introspective.
Yeah, I ain't like that at all.
You gotta grieve. You gotta grieve, y'all. It's okay to grieve.
Introspective of the spray hairline messed me up.
Hold on. You saying it's okay?
Hi, okay nephew. Oh, I'm finna cry. My nephew watching. Hey, nephew.
Hey, nephew.
You TT?
Yes, I'm TT. I
was wondering
when we get off this show, that's what I'm gonna go do. I'm gonna go TT.
He said, "Hey, Kendrah.
How you doing?" I knew it was you.
Because he keeps saying it. She said introspective is gonna be stuck in my head. Yes, I do too. Listen, every time they learn a new word on here, they use it like it's like a teacher making you use it in a sentence.
I'm still on disenfranchised.
Yeah, I'm still on that one too.
That's what I'm saying. This month has been a great month for words.
You done learned new words.
Y'all done learned some new words and don't know how to act. We talked about disenfranchised, grief, Kendrah, and they thought, tell Kendrah what y'all said it was.
Disenfranchised boy, you know how we felt about that.
Yeah, when the franchise boys broke up.
Franchise boys broke up.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or churches.
Because sometimes things can be disenfranchised if you don't put it in right introspective.
Oh my God!
Man, go to hell. He just excited he learned some words. Okay.
Yo, Mom, you on fire, buddy. You on fire, buddy. And did it.
Stop lying, Moses.
Yes.
I got 2 more videos, and then we're gonna go to the new music moment before we get up out of here. Y'all got 2 videos. Here we go.
If I've learned anything, it's that grief is not the absence of love. Grief isn't your love having nowhere to go. Grief is the perception that your love has nowhere to go. Because every time you cry because you miss them, it's because you love them. Every time you laugh because you're thinking of something they did, it's because you love them. Grief is still love in its highest form. And the fact that you feel grief only shows how deep that love for them really was.
I have a quote. I don't
think I agree with that one.
Go ahead, babe.
Okay.
I don't like that video.
So this quote comes from Megan Devine. She wrote a book called "It's Okay That You're Not Okay." So it's about grief. So she says, a lot of this work of grief is about being strong enough to bear the weight of what love asks of you. Stay present in both love and pain that exists side by side. So love, pain, grief.
What's her name?
Megan Devine. Megan Devine.
Like Loretta Devine?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Oh,
I got 6 credits left.
Oh,
She one of them credits and send me the book. So, with all of these things that have been said tonight, and over the last month, it is okay to grieve. It is okay to give yourself permission to grieve. It is okay to recognize that you are human, because whatever reason, a lot of us try to act superhuman or negate our feelings. You are human. You have feelings.
I'm an
And
Aquarius.
we learned that there are more feelings than sad, mad, upset, and disappointed or angry. We have a whole feelings wheel, and I'm gonna repost this thing so you guys can see this feelings wheel. Thank you to our favorite trap therapist, Dr. Nikki. And it is okay to feel all the things. Now it is up to you to decide when you feel, and sometimes it's not. Sometimes that those feelings just gonna knock you off your ass, okay?
Randomly.
Knock you off your feet, and you gonna wonder how you gonna be able to crawl up out of this hole. Grief, it does not discriminate, okay? Grief don't give a damn if you black, white, red, yellow, or blue. Grief doesn't care that you gotta work in the morning. Grief gives not one single fuck about you. So you got to figure out how you're going to be able to navigate this grief, how you're going to be able to navigate all of the feelings of grief. And also have to recognize that this grief may not be done tomorrow, next month, next year, next 5 years. Something may trigger you. Something may make you revert all the way back to the beginning. And you're going to feel all the feels. And guess what? It's okay. You are absolutely, it is absolutely okay for you to feel all the feelings. It is okay for you to revert back to the very beginning stages of grief. It is absolutely okay for you to not know how to navigate this grief. But what it is not okay for you to do, it is not okay for you to take that out on anybody else, even though it may happen. Which is part of the survival mode that I was talking about. It may happen, but in that happening, I'm gonna tell you one motherfucking truth, and it's from my own truth, is that as you go through survival mode, the people and things that you tear down, you gotta go back and try to fix and build up.
Fix that. Yeah.
So make sure that as you are doing your work, whether you're in survival mode or you grieving, that you do not tear apart the people and the things who are there to support you and help you navigate those spaces. Um, Continue to do the work. Don't put your therapy on pause because we're talking about grief. Continue to do the work because the work is necessary. Journaling, reading, all of the things, having conversations, navigating your feelings in for real ways and in for real times will definitely not only benefit you, but the people around you, the people that you encounter, the people that you're able to tell your story to. Your story matters. Your story is important. So, in all things, make sure you are taking care of your mental health in every way possible. We have had 3 amazing mental health counselors on here. We have had Ray Kareem, Nicole Anderson of A Cure for the Culture. Ray Kareem is of Good Grief Now. And now we have had none other than Miss Kendrah Parker on here this month. We have had amazing conversations on both PGC and PGC After Dark. If you missed PGC After Dark, go back and take a look. We are here to assist in these different transitions and educate in every way possible, because these are the conversations that matter for us as Black and brown people, so that we can live a little longer, love a little, and live in the joy that is meant for us to live. So at the end of the day, I hope this helps somebody. If it did not, pass it along, because it might not have been for you. It might have been for you to come across so that you can pass it along to the next person. That's it. That's all. Miss Kendrah, tell the people how they can connect with you and all of that good stuff.
I have Facebook and Instagram, but it's not a business account. So, but we still can connect there if you would like. My email is Kendrah Parker, KENDRAH Parker, PARKER 01 @gmail.com. You can always reach me there as well. Thank you guys for having me today.
Thank you for coming on.
And I definitely want to add, and with your grief, whether you're spiritual or not, or whatever you believe in, find something to base your belief and your root in. and be able to go to that space in your life too, because those things are important as well as speaking to somebody or sitting in your grief and figuring it out, because you got to believe in something. You got to. And it's amazing to wake up every morning and be alive, but it's so much better to live.
Yes.
Ellen Pop.
Say that.
Yeah. And I like to add this. Ray Kareem.
We ain't got time, Pablo. We ain't got time. Let's keep going.
me and you got a fight coming. I ain't like how you talked to me last week. And
why you wait till she's not here? Wait a minute.
Yeah, that's what you gotta do. That's what you gotta do. People from Gary, you can't talk to them straight up because they pop you in the throat while you talking. So you
absolutely real quick.
You gotta get it out the way.
You'll be standing there holding your throat and wondering if you finished your sentence or not.
You know what I mean?
So Mama Ayla said this was an awesome podcast. I'm processing my grief a little better since listening this month. Thank you, family, for recognizing our mental health.
Thank you,
Absolutely. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thank you, Jason. Jason said y'all keep doing what you do. Y'all know we're gonna get back to the fun, but also we always have to take a pause for the cause, because there are a lot of us who are taking our lives left and right. A lot of us are on the verge of being burnt out, unappreciated, underappreciated, overworked, undersexed, all of that good stuff, all of those things. And it is taking us to our very limit, sometimes. Some of us just need a hug. Some of us need a lot of hugs. Some of us need people to listen to. If you are in need of a therapist, a mental health counselor, or someone just to talk to, I tell y'all all the time, my inbox is open. You can email the Phat Girl Chronicles at thephatgirlchronicles@gmail.com, the Phat Girl Chronicles podcast @gmail.com, and send us your messages if you need help finding resources or anything in your area. Myself, Kendrah, Dr. Nikki, and Ray are available to assist you with finding resources. And also my therapist has made herself available to help find resources as well. So through all of the things, love on yourself, be good to yourself and each other. We about to get into this new music moment before we up out this thing.
Let me get my phone ready.
And so get yourselves together, because we about to do this. And then we out, y'all. I promise y'all, we up out of here in about 8 minutes. All right?
It's the L job second for me.
Yo, what's up? It's your man, The Mouth. And we get started in New Music Moments with Mr. Chris Brown. And from the 11:11 Deluxe album, the single is called Sex So Good in your New Music Moments.
Text from you, say come see me. 'Cause you don't like when we don't speak. Oh, baby, you could use some company. Oh, but you look so good when you're tired with me. So good, so good. Leave you on red, yeah. I know how to get in your head, yeah. You rather leave me in your bed, yeah. And before you cut me off, I come through and break you off, shawty. I got your legs up. Nigga, forget you even said something. That shit tastes better when you fed up. All of this passion make the sex so good. Sex so good when you in your feelings.
Yes, indeed. That's Chris Brown, and the single is called Sex So Good. Shout out to the writer, Mr. Upstairs, that wrote down right there. But now we get moving, man, with another gentleman I found off IG, Mr. Jay Troy. And this is an instrumental track, but he's so vicious with it. And this was called Next Chapter. And you heard it first, right here, your New Music Moments, with your man, The Mouth, right here on the Phat Girl Chronicles podcast. Yes, indeed. That was Jay Troy, and the song is called Next Chapter. Now we're keeping it moving with an artist by the name of Tiffany Red, along with Microphone Check, and they call this one Fall. Right here in New Music Moments.
Almost wouldn't believe if it wasn't me and you. I think we found the kind of thing that all these songs about, yeah. It's like the same goes when you cool, baby, you so fine. And your energy is a dream to me, make me come alive. Yeah, everything I've been waiting for all this time. Please don't let me get this wrong. Baby, do you feel these vibes? Or am I here alone? Baby, do you feel these feels? Low-key scared to know. Cause I'm falling fast, stuck like quicksand. I'm scared to hear what you're thinking. Cause I'm falling.
Yes, indeed. That was Tiffany Red along with microphone checking. They call that "We're Falling." Now we get into our single of the week. It's from an artist by the name of Chosen. It's very, very simple. When you call somebody, they don't answer, you just leave a voicemail. Your new music moment. Your single of the week.
You went and got the message. You went and played your cards and then I danced to you. I don't wanna do too much, but I can't help it. I learned my lesson. You learned your lesson. You didn't know the way. Loving somebody who don't appreciate. I know I'm too tired to try and recreate. Well, there's no reason to go and try to humiliate. But hey, running through, you've been running through my mind. Miss you, but I won't go back this time. Overdose, put my feelings aside, it's true. Cause I gotta put me back. Riding all these fears on my mind. No, you didn't take the hurt. No, I can't keep calling your line. So
Yes, indeed. That's your single of the week, and the artist is Chosen, and the song is called Voicemail. Don't forget to go check out Tiffany Red, along with microphone checking the song Falling, along with Mr. J. Troy and his single called Next Chapter, along with Chris Brown off the 1111 album, the single Sex So Good. Yo, it's been your new music moments with your man the mouth. Don't forget to follow me on social media, Instagram. Hit me up at the_mouth247. That's the_mouth247. And on Facebook, the mouth_moments. The mouth_moments. And if you got new music or something you want me to hear, man, hit me up at the mouth247@gmail.com. And also, if you want to be a guest on the show, or you just got something you want to say to us, man, hit us up at the Phat Girl Chronicles podcast at gmail.com. That's the Phat Girl Chronicles podcast at gmail.com. Yo, this been your new music moments. I hope it added something to your life, to your musical selection, to your next evening with your favorite person. And like I always say, man, music is love. And I'm out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let Chosen know. Chosen, you ever listen to this? She ain't listen to that voicemail, bro. You might as well go ahead and text her. All right, she ain't listen to none of that voicemail.
Right.
Hey, what somebody said that to me the other day, like, not you really left a voicemail.
That's what I'm saying. Like he done sung for 3 minutes.
I'm old. I leave voicemails.
She see 3 minutes voicemail. She not listening to that.
I leave voicemails.
I know.
You know what the song made me think about? It made me think about back in the day when you had your voicemail in your room.
Yeah,
and your
they worked back in the day.
Like, yeah.
Oh yeah,
This how mine was when I was in college. Yeah, you reach room 187. This is Dale. You know what I'm saying? Leave your name and number, and I'll get back to you as soon as
187.
Back the door, bro.
We want to thank y'all again for tuning in.
Or if you don't go
in the comment section, I just put a resource available to you all. Helpguide.org. Compliments of Miss Kendrah. Thank you for that. And make sure you guys check us out. Check out all the episodes. If you missed any, make sure you go back and check out all this month's episodes for PGC and PGC After Dark. We had some really great conversations and all of that good stuff. So make sure y'all check us out. Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and don't forget our website, leorochelle.com. All things PGC are available there. We got some more stuff coming for y'all sooner than later. We getting ready to get out here in these streets and get it cracking. So Be prepared, okay? Be prepared. Let a fat girl take over, all right? We love y'all. We appreciate y'all for all y'all do, all the support, all the comments, all of the views. We love y'all. Y'all know what I say. Whatever you do for the rest of the evening and the rest of the week, don't do it with your half-ass. Do it with your whole ass, y'all. We about this thing. Love you. Be good to yourself. Peace.
Peace out.
Peace.
You gotta do it with your whole ass.